I muted you by mistake.
Oh, that's okay. How you doing?
Nope, not you, Jim, the other Jim.
Oh.
Our board member, but we're just waiting for our chair, Brian, and then we'll get started. So we appreciate your patience.
Hello, I am terribly sorry. It has been that kind of day.
No problem, Brian. Whenever you're settled and ready, you can certainly open, but if you need a minute, that's fine too.
Okay. Sorry, I was all set to go earlier and my computer almost died. I realized I had to go grab my power cable, go plug it in, and she's getting back up.
I've had to run to town hall where my laptop decides to run an update, so I understand.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. I am ready to begin when you are, if you can let everybody in.
Yep, so everybody's in.
All right.
Thank you.
I would like to officially call to order the Tuesday, October 4th, 2022 meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission. And pursuant to the extension of Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, this public meeting of the Town of Bolton Conservation Commission is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but the public can access this meeting while in progress by using Zoom Video Communications, Inc. Members of the public attending this meeting virtually will be allowed to make comments if they wish to do so during the portion of the hearing designated for public comment by telephone, cell phone, or personal computer using Zoom. We do have some guidelines for participants. Please use the chat or raise hand function if you wish to address the board. People will remain on mute until they're actually addressed by the board, and participants are required to display their first and last names. All that said, per our tradition, we will start with a roll call of present members. And I am Brian Barabee.
Paul Bramwell.
Bill Payne.
Joanne Glasanos.
Jim Garrity.
Rebecca Longball.
Okay. All right, so first up this evening, the Bolton Conservation Commission will now open a public hearing under Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, to consider a notice of intent for DEP file number one. Oh, do we have a file number? We do not. I'm sorry.
No, not as yet.
Okay, to open the discussion for a notice of intent for 580 Main Street, proposed multifamily residential development. Is the applicant or a representative for the applicant here this evening, Rebecca?
Yes, both Jim Lambert and Phil Cordiero are present at the meeting. And the property owner signed off on the notice of intent authorizing that they were comfortable with them filing because the property has not been sold yet, just to note.
Okay, good to note. Okay, so if one of the two applicants, if either one would like to give us a brief summary, to the briefest extent possible, of the project and what you're proposing.
Jim, as the owner, did you want to make comment first, or I'm happy to take the reins?
No, Phil, I'm just here for support. I'll cede it over to you.
Okay, terrific. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, and Rebecca. Phil Cordero from Allen and Major Associates, obviously joined at the table virtually by Jim Lambert, representing the applicant on the project. With permission of the members, I'd like to share my screen, and I'll give you a tour walkthrough of the project.
Yep, that would be fine. Rebecca, if you could allow that.
Just one moment, I apologize.
Sure.
And just confirm everybody's able to see that okay?
I can, yes.
Okay. So what I would like to do, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I will go as brief as possible. There's a lot of information to go through, but I'll do it as succinctly as I can and then open it up to the questions of the commission and really delve into details as you feel appropriate to the application. My initial share here is simply for the purposes of familiarizing the commission with the application address. This is 580 Main Street. This is the current site of the Bolton Office Park. Route 117 Main Street runs along the top portion of the screen. You can see Bolton Office Park is these concentric squares, which is the current leasable office space. Their parking facilities, both existing in the northwest corner of the building, but then also southerly below the building, they have a large massed parking field and some ancillary parking to the west. The complex to the left is Bolton Country Manor. That is not part of our project, but it does share access to the main site driveway for the Bolton Office Park and consequently the Wood Partners application that we're about to discuss here today. The project, and I have to switch my screen share, I apologize again. The project that we're bringing before the commission is part of a comprehensive permit application that has been pursued through a LIP application with the select board of the town of Bolton and ultimately received a comprehensive permit through the zoning board of appeals. And as part of the zoning board of appeals process and issuance of a comprehensive permit, they allow and subsume all responsibilities of local permitting for any board or agency within the town of Bolton that would otherwise have jurisdiction. What I mean by that is in their role as reviewing and approving authority, they step in the footsteps of the Conservation Commission to act under your local wetlands bylaw. So the application that's in front of you that we'll discuss here this evening is applied for under the State Wetlands Protection Act only. And while we've made every effort to meet the local performance standards of the bylaw, we do want to make sure the commission recognizes that there is a separation of permitting authorities because of the nature of the comprehensive permit. And I can get into that in greater detail if the commission is not familiar with that. I'm sure your agent can certainly outline that in much greater detail as well. So at the onset, the project is a residential multifamily project that will take over a portion of the 580 Main Street project, the existing land. The existing office park will be reduced in size, and Wood Partners, the applicant, will take over ownership of about 2/3 of the property. And that's illustrated generally on the plan that I have on the screen, where this area in the northwest corner will remain as the portion of the land that will remain controlled by Bolton Office Park. And then alternatively, the opposing corner and continuation of the land that actually extends quite a bit off screen, off plan, will become the owned land of Wood Partners and site of the development. So what's proposed and has been approved through the Zoning Board of Appeals is 4 multi-story residential buildings with 229 residential dwelling units. We have 3 detached garage parking spaces as part of our amenity package. We have a freestanding clubhouse, and then we have a variety of amenities that dot the landscape. We also have provided for additional areas for, excuse me, our water and fire water systems to be located on site. Since Bolton does not have a municipal water supply system, we will provide for our own. And we will also provide for our own wastewater treatment plant system in accordance with Mass DEP regulations. So again, simply just to familiarize the commission with the main components, these are the buildings, the residential buildings, 4 in total. This area, the smaller U-shaped building or L-shaped building, is our clubhouse. These linear buildings are our detached garages. And then we will also have a detached mail center for the residents to utilize for mail and package pickup. And then the secondary water, both domestic and fire, are located in the southwest corner. And everything is connected via paved surface traveled ways and also surface parking, of which we have approximately 380 total spaces on site. We have appeared in front of the commission in 3 separate occasions prior to being here with you this evening. And what we've been able to do with the commission is we pursued under an RDA application permission to drill and install a private water supply well located approximately where that red X is on the screen, both in the southeast corner. But then we appeared a second time for an additional well to be located in the southwesterly corner of the site. And that's in addition to 2 on-site wells that are already in place for drinking water supply to the Bolton Office Park. And I'll get into the water systems in just a minute. The RDA approved our ability to install those wells, which we then subsequently tested and reviewed with Mass DEP as part of their overarching permit process. Our third appearance with the commission was by our consultant, Goddard Consulting, and they did the heavy lifting under an ANRAD process. And they went through and they identified and confirmed with you and your peer review consultant all of the on-site resource areas that are applicable to this project, but more so to the entirety of 580 Main Street. So a portion of those will fall away for our application, but we did the entire site as part of the ANRAD tracking. Well, let me switch screens. And what I want to bring up is some colorful graphics.
Mr. Chair, just one point of clarification while we're
Please, Rebecca.
transitioning here. On the wells, so the RDA, and Phil and I have talked about this before as well, but just to clarify for the commission and those present from the public, the determinations that were applied for were relative to test well location. So obviously when you're installing test wells, that may be in fact the location later on, but it was identified in both of those circumstances that it would be incorporated in a later notice of intent for the final. So I just want to clarify that because there may have been some confusion with how that was just stated.
Okay, so if there was confusion, I apologize for that. Your agent is, of course, correct. The approval was for testing of the wells. This notice of intent is going to absorb those wells as permanent entities as part of the site alteration. And we'll get into the scope of that as we move forward here. So in changing the screen, what I've endeavored to do by adding some color is to really highlight for the commission where our wetland resource areas are on site. Again, some of them applicable to us, some of them that will be not applicable to us, but will remain the purview to the remnant land of Bolton Office Park. So the first area in no particular order is along our easterly sideline of our site. And this is generally in this blue shaded zone, which I'm now highlighting in red just to make it a little more confusing, but just to draw everybody's attention to it. That is the wetland resource area of Great Brook, where we have identified bank and you have affirmed its presence. It does notice of event is in or 100 in and everyone is exposed performance. Also, we had water invaded. So Jimmy in my here at that great is an honor. We had water invaded was on the surround of our but existing item that's used as one and on block area. I highlight that in the code one. The solution rate plan. It actually for this plan shows that had in full detail. I have to show generally areas where we're proposing work that followed that. So if the water just to one along the actually choose on it would around and actually comes back up on Elf and continues on the town and it exists on the foreign lawyers school and a lot of actually selected we should like what we're in the hard side generally denoted by the orange circles that I've just highlighted. And I guess it's important great our three area have a little flame that you have to slightly there. And I so what I do is we have a large existing property that has previously dated coverage of the asphalt parking lot showed during production services the southerly portion of the the entirety of it, bush of and is considered graded wetland in acts of and combined. Is a significant area that's been cleared and rated on long and area. So we have not just that, but to have put up tape 100,000 square plus or minus on-site river area within the subject can buy partners. So this is the isolated separated parcel of land that has been already observed. What we do, their application is modification some years that can be served. So first of all, and again, we just highlight a very relatable. The pole line represents the area zone and shade line, reiterated line represents the one in a zone and off grid. That is what could be considered 25-foot zone under local law, and then additionally 100-foot zone for BVW. So what happened right is to point roll out of different BVW zone. So we are at for opportunities. They'll be part of our parking tray for. So we it could go on with that in circulation. It also has a natural surface rain. So
South Bolton Road proposed Mallard Lane construction till our next public meeting Tuesday, October 18th at 7:20 PM. Do I hear a second for continuing?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, starting with Paul,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well.
Thank you. And as you heard before, I will reach out to the commission members individually, gather their availability, and then propose that availability to you, and then we'll confirm the site visit date and time.
Okay, I look forward to seeing everybody out there. Have a good night.
All right, take care, Jim.
Yeah, bye.
All right, Rebecca, are you good to continue? In that case, the Bolton Conservation Commission will now open the public hearing under Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and under the Bolton Bylaw, Chapter 233, to consider a request for determination of applicability for 8 South Bolton Road, the proposed addition of an elevated 16 by 23 deck extending from the rear of the existing house. Rebecca, is the applicant or somebody representing the applicant here tonight?
I am not seeing anyone, Brian.
Okay.
But what I will say though is that I tried to delineate it on this map as best as possible.
Yep.
Mostly all of the site is within riverfront area and or the adjacent upland resource area, which is also the buffer zone. So the red box that you see on the screen is actually the location of the house, which is right on the edge. And again, this delineation is not exact, but right on the edge of the outer riparian area and within the 100-foot buffer, which is also the adjacent upland resource area. Obviously, the house is existing, and then the deck will be located attached to the home.
That's it. All right. I guess for me, and especially without the applicant here, and I appreciate you giving the overview, I would say we probably try to schedule a site visit for this.
Okay.
Just because, again, with everything being in the resource area, I'd like to kind of take a look and see what we'd be agreeing to. But my understanding is that it's not a covered deck in any way, shape, or form. It's just a regular deck, and in theory would be pervious going over currently maintained lawn or other pervious surface.
That was my impression, yes.
Okay. But without being able to fully confirm that with everybody, I'd like the opportunity just to go out there and take a look. And if in trying to set up a site visit with the applicant, if you could just ask them if they could mark out where the deck's going to be, if they could just kind of stake out the corners of the deck.
Yep.
Without the applicant here, would we be able to continue this?
So I was made aware recently
Okay.
that it's at your discretion, and then if
Okay.
multiple times occur, then you would essentially close because you have no new information being provided.
Okay. In that I was gonna say, in that case, I'll probably just use my discretion to go ahead and continue this.
Okay.
I was gonna say, worst case scenario, if we needed to close tonight, we could always go out, take a look at the project, and then in theory, vote on an RDA next time. I guess we couldn't really.
Technically, again, that'd be at your discretion. That would be, we can't accept any new information at that time
Nope.
once it's closed.
But we could email you our comments and thoughts to be included into our
Well,
determination. Or
you can still deliberate and vote.
okay.
but you can't accept any comments from the public and you can't accept new information.
Sure.
So really the question would be, is the site visit, are you considering that new information or not? And I don't have the answer for that.
Right, right. So in this particular instance, this particular time, I think we'd use our discretion because scheduling the site visit would provide us with the answers to a number of questions. And go ahead and would I call for a vote, or can I unilaterally? I guess I would have to call for a vote to continue it.
Yeah.
Thanks, right?
Yep.
Excuse me, I've been losing my voice all week, so. Okay. In that case, I'd like to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for 8 South Bolton Road until our next public meeting, Tuesday, October 18th at 7:30 p.m. Do I hear a second for continuing?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, starting with Paul,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I am an aye as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. All right. The Bolton Conservation Commission will now continue the public hearing under Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Bolton Bylaw, Chapter 233, to consider a request for determination of applicability for 302 Berlin Road, proposed construction of a 24 by 48 garage and shed structure. Excuse me. And by way of update, if I can remember where we left off, we had a chance to go out to the site. Commission members had questions and comments last time. We basically had taken a look at the RDA, we're kind of comfortable with the location, had suggested kind of pulling the location a little bit forward towards the existing driveway. And then we were discussing possible mitigation measures, because I think our one remaining concern was just roof runoff, just the loss of pervious area, and how to lessen or basically mitigate for that flow. Is that a fair assessment of where we were, Rebecca? Okay. Excuse me. All right. And since that meeting, were we able to basically, we have the regular RDA. I think we could probably condition an RDA allowing for multiple different methods of mitigation for runoff. I know some of the methods that we've used in the past. I guess my one question, Rebecca, to you, and I'm not sure if you would have an answer, is trying to determine the extent of mitigation, if that makes sense. These are some of the methods we use, and whichever of these methods you choose would need to mitigate to basically not a one-to-one, but I'm trying to think of a ratio mixture that we would try to impose with using one of these different techniques.
So I would say first you'd want to add into the language of the commission that you're capturing all roof runoff and directing away from the resource area by methods such as, and then the different methods that have been previously approved. And if you were incorporating a portion of mitigation associated with planting or allowing an area to naturalize, typically the commission uses the 2-to-1 ratio, and then must have a success rate of 75% over 2 growing periods or 2 years, depending on how the commission feels to condition that area.
Okay. Sorry.
Do you need me to repeat any of that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm trying to jot it down because I was going to say some of these I remember. I just need to actually see it.
Yeah.
So I should put out other commission members. Anybody have thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, or things they would like to see if we approve the plans as they were laid out at last meeting? Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to try to get this out. In that case, I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing for 302 Berlin Road. Do I hear a second for closing?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, starting with Paul,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well. Excuse me. All right. I'd like to make a motion that we issue a -3 determination for 302 Berlin Road with the following conditions. That all roof runoff for the new structure be captured to avoid excess infiltration into the resource area, and that the applicants can use one or more of several methods in which to do this that were approved by the commission. These would include the installation of rain gardens at a approximate 2-to-1 ratio for the area that is being, for pervious area that is becoming impervious. And those gardens to have a 75% success rate after 2 growing seasons. Or infiltration or stone trenches along the perimeter of the new structure, also known as a drip edge. Excuse me. Or the use of rain barrels to capture gutters and rain barrels to capture roof runoff and provide slow infiltration back into some of the more upland areas. Native plantings, mitigation of existing yard and areas being renaturalized or returned to native plantings, again, at that approximate 2-to-1 ratio with 75% success rate over 2 growing seasons. The installation of a dry well and possible installation of a green roof. I think those are many of the methods that we've allowed in the past. So a -3 determination with the following conditions that they can use one or more of those methods to compensate for the lack of infiltration of the roof runoff. If there is an additional method that they would like to use, they are welcome to come back to the commission and ask permission, and we would consider an alternate method that achieves those same purposes. Excuse me. Do I hear a second for the -3 determination with the conditions as proposed?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, starting with Paul,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For just the applicant's knowledge of this, or the next steps, really. So the RDA or the determination will be available for the commission members to sign. Once it's signed and mailed, the mailing date is the issuance date. You're also welcome to send me an email or call my office to schedule a time to pick up that document, because again, the reason why is I need the date it's picked up or mailed. If you'd prefer it mailed to a different address rather than the 302 Berlin Road, also email me with that. But if 302 is fine, I see Jeanette shaking her head, that's okay as well. And I typically, but when I mail it, I also send you an email that day so that you're aware that it's in the mail and you should be expecting it. Once it's issued and received, there is a 10-day appeal period. Some individuals choose to reach out to DEP to see if this is a project of interest to them. Some individuals choose to just wait out the 10 days and then start their work. So that is what you can expect going forward, but you can definitely expect to hear from me once all the signatures are received.
I appreciate it. That's amazing. I just need my husband home now. He's still in Puerto Rico and I'm still in the Bolton Common parking lot. So I appreciate it. We'll get together one day. We'll build a shed. Yay. Thank you.
Good luck, Jeanette. Take care.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Right.
Oh, there he is. All right. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you could mail it, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Right.
Hey, these suggestions are great, and we will work with this, and we want to, have successful interaction, but we're not familiar with the green roof or dry well or native plants. We're gonna need some more guidance. Can you provide that, or do we have to go with the contractor that can do that?
I certainly cannot, and it would be mindful for the commission not to either, just due to how we approach other projects, make sure we're approaching all of them equally. So it would be mindful to work with a contractor to make sure things are being installed correctly. There are different specs for each of those that you can find online, I'm sure. But we're certainly calling a contractor. They should be able to assist you with that.
Okay, I have one more question. When you say it's a ratio of 1-to-1 capturing that runoff, I mean, that's on a downhill slope into the wetlands. I don't want to starve the wetlands.
You won't.
Yeah.
So that is a very good thought. So the 1-to-1 or the 2-to-1 ratio, that's specific to the plantings that you would be installing. And because the way that your lot is sloped, and a contractor will explain this to you as well, I'm sure, it eventually will still get to the you have plenty of area that rain and precipitation is still hitting and draining into the resource area. What the commission doesn't want is it hitting an impervious surface and then going directly into the resource area. We want it to infiltrate either into or filter through and then go to the resource area. So that's why you'd be directing it to the opposite side of the structure, essentially.
Okay. If it helps with trying to avoid streams and ruts to a great extent, is a lot of what we've seen is you get these unexpected little ruts that become little mini streams that go from the back of somebody's shed that go directly into the stream over time. And we're basically just trying to get everything to still infiltrate on your lawn, rather most of it just kind of infiltrate the ground on your lawn and not to see any real flow going towards the back, if that makes sense.
So more soak it in and let it disperse underground rather than running down on top of the ground. Right.
And that's, a lot of, and again, you can look at the different things online, one's not better than the other, you see what works for you, but things like rain barrels and dry wells where it captures a lot of that runoff and then you can use it in other ways, or you can at least slowly let it infiltrate back into the lawn or into like the flatter areas.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
No problem. All right. Moving along. Our final one this evening. So I was going to say, Rebecca, I don't need to actually open the vote, do I? Because we've actually closed the public hearing for this. Okay. Yep. So I guess our last real vote of the evening for commission members is voting to issue the notice of intent for 357 Main Street as currently drafted after comments and all of our additions from last meeting. If I had a chance to look at the draft, it looked fine to me. The other commission members have any additional comments, questions, edits, issues? And, all right, I'm seeing none. In that case, I'd like to make a motion that we issue an order of conditions for 357 Main Street, DEP file number 112-016 as drafted and submitted at this evening's meeting. Do I hear a second for that?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, starting with Paul,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well.
Great. Thank you.
Say, just gonna ask you, did commission members have a chance to read through the minutes from both our September 6th and September 27th, 2022 meetings? And if so, any edits, corrections, changes? And if not, does anybody need any more time to read through those minutes? Seeing no comment. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes for our September 6th, 2020. Yeah. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes for our September 6th, 2022 meeting and our September 27th, 2022 meeting as drafted and submitted at this evening's meeting. Do I hear a second for approving the minutes?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, starting with Paul,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
I abstain from, so I wasn't present from the 6th.
Jim,
Aye.
all right, and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well.
Okay.
Rebecca, would you mind walking us through the updates?
Sure.
Thank
We have one that actually occurred between the time that this was posted and the meeting was held. And that was an enforcement order was issued to 727 Main Street for a pipe that was discharging effluent into the perennial stream behind Main Street that runs under the common. I was called out to the site with Board of Health. They were following up on an odor complaint and found that, and then I got called out to the site. I think in a sense, the drought worked in our favor, if that's how you want to phrase that, which I don't in a sense, but it basically allowed for that pipe to be exposed so that we could see clearly the effluent flowing from the pipe. So the enforcement order has required the property owner to disconnect that pipe and provide proof from an engineer certifying that the current infrastructure can serve as a tight tank until they're able to upgrade to a Title V. Now, that being said, the property owner has come in and they do understand and have reviewed with me what they need to do to come into compliance. So at this time, I have not fined them, but that is always something on the table for the commission. But again, that enforcement order was issued so that that timeline could start for them and that they can work to remove that pipe that is discharging into the river. Under that order, they are required to submit a notice of intent for that full upgrade and removal of what's there, and then upgrade to meet Title V requirements. So I guess the ask of the commission, we can do it at the next meeting as well, is I would just ask that the commission vote to memorialize the fact that that was issued as we do typically, because obviously not all of you can be running out there to issue in circumstances like this. But so if Brian, how do you want to handle that, I guess?
I mean, I have no issue memorializing it now, as you've described it. Again, no, if other commission members disagree, I'll put it out there to you, but generally speaking, I agree, Rebecca, if somebody is moving in a positive direction in a relatively timely manner, I don't think we need to start with a fine, but I always like to reserve that just in case. I'd be fine voting on that side. Other commission members feel strongly one way or another. Okay. All right. In that case, I'd like to call a roll call vote to issue an enforcement order for 727 Main Street for the removal of a pipe that currently seems to be leaking or flowing effluent material into a perennial stream. All those in favor of issuing the enforcement order as described earlier by Rebecca, please say aye, starting with Paul.
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I am an aye myself.
Okay, thank you. So that will also be in the signature packet for you to sign. And so our other updates are, we have no update, but it's going to remain on the agenda because we should have an update shortly about the Bolton Trails Connectivity Improvement Project. This is the project funded by Mass Trails for the 9 crossings for repair and replacement of some. Right now, we're just waiting on contract documents. And the other is, I would ask that the commission consider a vote to accept the project scope and require the scout to return for the final review after receiving approval from their Scout Council Review Board. So this is in relation to the Bower Springs property that we walked with Camden and reviewed the different areas on site that he was interested in working on to resolve some of the erosion issues and improve some of the base trail to reduce tripping hazards and try to address some of the compaction there as well.
In that case, I'd like to call a roll call vote to approve the project scope of the proposed Eagle Scout Bowers Spring project and to require said scout to return for a final review after receiving approval from the Scout Council Review Board. All those in favor, please say aye. And we will again start with Paul.
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Rebecca, I am an aye as well.
Wonderful, thank you. And I think the Scout will appreciate that as well, so they can then relay that to their council board. The other updates we have is, of course, the current MVP project, our Lawns and Landscapes Task Group in association with that. At present, we are scheduling associated site visits, so we'll be visiting a few sites between Bolton and Clinton, our partner community, to look at some areas, again, that are focused on lawns or ornamental landscaped areas or sports fields, to see how there could be good practices going on in terms of climate resiliency, or to actually be looking at that for proposing some resiliency management and maintenance measures. So another note on that is, if you have, even if you can't make that site visit or won't be directly participating in the task group, if you have a site in mind, certainly feel free to reach out either by phone or email and let me know. And I'd be more than happy to throw that in the ring, and maybe we'll go visit that site and look at it through the lens of this project. The other opportunities are the volunteer land steward position and then the open space and recreation plan subcommittee. Come November, I will be doing a much greater push from Parks and Rec and then the Conservation Department, obviously, as well, to reach out to the community, get some survey outreach materials to really engage in and get some members for that subcommittee. So if you have interested members or interested community members or relatives, or even kids at the high school who want to participate, I think it's really important to get them involved as well. So please feel free to reach out, and I will keep them in the loop if that is the case. And same thing, as part of that process, a lot of the information will be coming before this board, but also if you would like to serve on that subcommittee as well, I think it would be very valuable and helpful. So that is what I have for this evening.
That is excellent. Can I ask you, I looked at the packet for this evening and stuff, and I may have missed it. The peer reviews that were already done for 580 Main Street, are those easily found on the town website? Were those in that packet?
They should be in the packet.
Okay.
If not, I can certainly double check what it should be on the town website under the notice of intent.
The original. And
Yeah.
again, I think it was in there. I was trying to think if I had seen it. I could not remember. And for whatever reason, if I can't find it, I'll reach out to you, ask you where I might be able to. All right.
Yeah, and tomorrow morning, I'll confirm that and send an email that just links it as well.
All right.
But it should be on the town website under current projects, conservation, 580 Main under NOI. There's also a hyperlink that shows the plan, but the NOI should be a very extensive packet of information.
Okay. Thank you. Any other commission members have any new business? All right. Seeing none. I'd like to then go ahead and I'd like to propose that we hereby, I'd like to make a motion that we hereby adjourn the October 4th, 2022 meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission. Do I hear a second for adjourning?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, starting with Paul,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jillian,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Rebecca. I am an aye as well.
Wonderful. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Everybody take care.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Bye.